User-generated content is one of the most powerful ways to boost trust and sales for your Shopify clothing brand. But what if you don't have a big budget right now to pay influencers? The good news is that AI can help you create high quality lifestyle shots for free. We'll kind of get into the details of that. But in this video, I want to walk you through a step-by-step guide on generating AI-powered lifestyle images for your brand. Hey, I'm Christian Pignon, one of the co-founders here at Bit Branding. We specialize in helping clothing brands scale online. We've served over 300 clothing brands in the last year alone. I will appreciate a like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our latest content. So the idea behind this is if you're just starting out and you don't have a whole lot of social proof or reviews on your website, it's a great visual on your website to have some people wearing the item, right? And making it look like it's, either people taking selfies or maybe like a mirror selfie or something like that, where it looks a little bit more organic, a little bit more authentic. And I may get a little bit of flack for this, but again, what I want to provide is a starting point. I want to provide a starting point for those brands who maybe don't have a whole lot of money, but they have good designs, they have good things in place, and they just need a little help, okay? Let me show you an example. Usually, something like this, you will see it as part of a review section on a website. So if we go, for example, here for Threadheads, and they actually have this shirt where you can customize it, so the reviews and the images will be a little bit different one to the other. But they have 1,300 reviews in here, which is awesome. But here within this review section, you'll see this little gallery here of actual real people showcasing the actual product, usually tied with a review. But my idea is that you could have that visually on your website. You don't necessarily have to have the reviews, so you don't have to fake the reviews as well. You can maybe just fake the imagery. But the idea is that you're showcasing your design on different body types, on different people, different angles, different backgrounds, and things like that, so that people will get a better sense for how this product looks. So my idea is to create just a simple section, just a very simple gallery, maybe on your product page, maybe on your homepage, where you're showcasing some of this imagery on your website. So that's the idea. That's kind of like what we want to create. Now, in terms of the tools that we'll use, I am using ChatGPT in order to get the best prompt, right? So that's the first thing. I mean, if you don't use ChatGPT, you can use Claude. You can use some other options, or Grok, that's another one. But to me, ChatGPT, we're paying for it, so it's just the one that we kind of been using. So with ChatGPT, we have the ability to create these prompts, and I've tried to manipulate them in a way that it will give me some variety. This will only work with brands that have designs on either simple t-shirts or hoodies or things like that. So that's kind of like what we're working off of. So first thing was running a few prompts and things in here, which I will give you a copy of all of these prompts that are going to be used on a different platform in order to create the actual images. But the very first thing is creating the actual prompt. So I'll read you one of these. So photo of a young woman in her 20s standing in a messy bedroom wearing a beige hoodie. The photo is taken in a mirror, but her face is partially cut off. She's holding the phone with one hand while the other sleeve covers her hand slightly. The lighting is dim, slightly yellow, like a regular bedroom light. So again, the idea behind this prompt is that we're trying to generate and create some of these scenarios, right, where you see real people at their home or maybe at a restaurant, or maybe a selfie in their bedroom, just taking a picture of the actual item. So this type of imagery is what we're trying to recreate, and I've been able to create them with a series of prompts. So now we have a few options in here. And like I said, I think the best thing that you can do is use these prompts. So we'll put them in the description down below. So you'll use these prompts and you can use ChatGPT and ask it to redo some of these prompts. And maybe if you have specific scenarios, you can also give it specific scenarios on what you would like to see. But the idea behind scenarios, my recommendation would be just go to your favorite website, go to the review section, and just see the type of imagery that people are taking in terms of either if it's selfies, if it's someone in a parking lot, like all those types of things would be good for ChatGPT to know in order to get you the right prompts. Now that we have the right prompts, so I'm gonna grab, I wanna do this one, but I don't wanna do a hoodie. I wanna do just a simple white tee. So let me just grab this and let's just see how it goes, okay? The tool that we're gonna use is ImageFX by Google. So if you go to labs.google.com, and then I think it's /FX/ImageFX, you can just Google ImageFX and it will show up. You just have to create an account. So just link up your Gmail account, and then in here, we'll just insert that particular prompt. But because we didn't wanna do the beige hoodie, I wanna try and see if we can do let's try the t-shirt first. So let's do a blank white t-shirt. It's important to use either, the word plain or blank when it comes to the actual garment. Otherwise, it's probably gonna add some things that you don't necessarily want in there. So blank white t-shirt, the photo's taken in a mirror and her face goes, she's holding the phone in one hand. I think we can get rid of this because it's not gonna be a long sleeve t-shirt. Let's just see how this looks overall. Other suggestions here with ImageFX is making sure that you have your aspect ratio as a portrait, because that's usually gonna be a phone picture. It's gonna be in portrait mode like that. So I would definitely change that to portrait. And I think everything else here is good to go. So let's just hit create and see what we come up with. Okay, this is actually not bad. So let's try, let's try using maybe this one. Does it look a little bit, okay. Hands look great, fingers are all there. It looks like it's an iPhone, which is great. The t-shirt is good. I wish he was wearing pants. We can put, let's see, 100 centimeters bedroom, a blank t-shirt, say, and yoga pants. Let's try that again. Okay, lot better. Yeah, now we're fully clothed. That's what we wanted to go for. Perfect. So this one still has a little artifact there, but that one probably looks the best. That one maybe too messy. I mean, the rooms are pretty messy, but it looks very real. So let's go ahead with, let's just do this one. So we're gonna download this. I'm just gonna put it here on my desktop, and then we're gonna roll with this one, and we're gonna put a design on the actual shirt. So we're gonna open up Photoshop. So, all right, so we're gonna open up Photoshop here, and we have just very simply the image just right here. So it looks pretty awesome. Again, the details, it's great for what we need right now. I think this looks great. Wow, they even got that double mirror thing here, effect going on the right hand side. That's really cool though. So really what we want to do now is add the logo in here. So what we'll do is, I have this logo that I created for a brand a while ago, so Lazy Dog Customs. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this right here. It's gonna go right there. And that's it, we're done. I'm just kidding. As you can see, if you were to just drop the logo here on top, it's not gonna look great because it's not gonna get the same image highlights or shadows from the actual t-shirt itself. And it's just gonna look slightly off. So what we're gonna do here, it's gonna be something simple, but it's gonna essentially merge this logo file into the shirt. So first off, I'm going to click on that little lock icon here to release that layer, because we'll need a copy of that layer. And here for my actual logo, I'm gonna click on right click, and we're gonna create a clipping mask, and then we're going to duplicate this layer 0, which is my main image. I'm gonna click and drag it to that little plus sign thing. If you don't have that, you can just right click and just click duplicate layer, and that will do the exact same thing. There's also a bunch of keyboard shortcuts. I've never used keyboard shortcuts. I only know my Command C, Command V. That's about it. Maybe a couple other ones, but yeah, I'm not crazy on keyboard shortcuts. Then we're gonna grab that layer and put it on top. And then what we wanna do with that layer selected, click on this normal drop down and switch this to hard light. Also, that's gonna hard light the whole thing. So what we're gonna do is right click on that. So we're gonna do a couple things actually. One of them, we're gonna click on that layer and then click on image adjustments, and we're going to desaturate the whole thing. And then on top of that, we're also going to create another clipping mask just to target that particular logo. This is a very sort of like quick and dirty way of doing this. There are still a couple of things that, you know, we'll probably want to fix in here, but for the most part, right, if we start to zoom in here, that's too much zooming in. If we start to zoom in here, we get that, if you see that little U portion here, it's a little bit brighter, right, than the ones that are over here that are in the shadow. As you can see, the letters kind of now look like they move with the actual garment, and it looks a little bit more real. Something else that you can do, you can also just slightly put down the opacity of the product in general. I wouldn't go past like 90, but between 90 to 100 could be just a good place to, again, add a little bit of a haziness, right, to the design and make sure that it's still there, still good, but it looks great. It looks real. That's what we want. And to be honest, like, these images are gonna be a lot smaller on the actual website. You know, once we finish the whole thing, it's gonna be a lot smaller. So the resolution doesn't need to be absolutely the best or the greatest. So also at the end of the day, there's also a bunch of other things and changes and things that you can do to the actual image itself to, you know, try to make it look a little bit more realistic. And obviously when it comes to things like hoodies where the drawstrings come down, there's gonna be some manipulation, right, to those. In this video, I just wanted to keep it simple, basic for you guys. But this is the idea, right? We have now this image here that we can save and we can use on our website to create a very simple gallery of some UGC type of content. Hold up just one second. I just wanted to say, if you're a clothing brand owner and want to jump into the specifics of your brand and how to grow it profitably online, you can schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. There are limited spots, so go find some time right now. Click in the link in the description below. So I want to go back here to ImageFX just to kind of show you. I just copied and pasted another prompt from ChatGPT just to see some of the other options that you guys could do here. So this one's actually a black t-shirt, really blurry. Does it say? Oh, the prompt starts with blurry photo. Let's get rid of the blurry there. So blurry photo, I think that's great. The way that he's holding the t-shirt is perfect. And I think again, we just need to add the word blank or plain in order for it to remove some of the design that it's already come up with. So let's try this again. Actually, this may be a really good prompt. And I'll make sure to fix these prompts for you guys in the description below. So you have these prompts. And to be honest, like these prompts, you can grab them, put them on ChatGPT, and again, say, this is the formatting that I'm looking for, run some additional examples. Okay, so we didn't get what we wanted, but I just want to test and see. If you already have Photoshop, I want to test and see how this will look. So let's just download this image here and let's try opening it up in Photoshop. So if you do get that artifacts or designs already on the shirt, there may be a pretty easy way to get rid of that so you can add your own Photoshop. So this is pretty much a square design. So we should be able to, yeah, just grab all this. And then if we do that new generative fill and we click generate, this should take care of it. Fingers crossed. Let's see, more AI working hard for us. Okay, yeah. That works. I think that's a great solution for you guys. So if for whatever reason, there's maybe a little artifact or a little design, I think one of the original images had a little design in there, very easily, you can just quickly do that. It will create a new layer. So you can always just uncheck that, click on both of them, merge the layers. It's a little bit destructive way that I'm doing it right now, but you can merge the layer. Now you have just a blank image that you can use for your product. So let's go and see, let me get the white version of this logo real quick. All right, so if we go to my files, I should have the lovely Lazy Dog customs in all white. By the way, I'm holding shift. If you're resizing things in Photoshop, you have to hold shift in order for it to keep the right dimensions. The other thing that I would say too is just make sure that you get if you have your products on hand, make sure that you get very close. I don't think there's an easy way to measure exactly the correct size of the design on the shirt, but you have to get really close to how it looks. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, is seeing mock-ups where the actual product that I'll get will be like this, but the mock-up for whatever reason is like so much bigger and it's maybe so close to. So pay attention to the ends and the corners of the actual garment and where the actual logo will be, or the design will be actually placed with this shirt. So let's go ahead and put that in here and follow our steps. So we're gonna do a clipping mask here. We're also going to duplicate this layer. I need to redo that clipping mask. Let's desaturate. So image adjustments, desaturate. We're going to create a clipping mask and then we're gonna do the hard light. There we are, yep. Hold on, let me see something here. So that added quite a bit of darkness, I guess, to the image overall. But if we do a blending option here, we go this direction a little bit, we can kind of bring back more of the details. And then if we hold down option, we can kind of split that. It's a little trick I learned from Franklin here. Click that, we can kind of, so the underlying layer and messing around with the blend options with, you know, the black and white will get you closer to what you need. Obviously there's a lot of detail right now that it showed up, but again, shadows, highlights, everything looks good. It looks real. It looks like the item design is actually right there. So best thing you can do now is save these images and create a simple gallery on your website in order to add these. It could be on the product page, it could be on the home page. You could have different designs. If for whatever reason your t-shirts are not the regular, you know, typical t-shirt, change up the prompt a little bit and add oversized tee fit, right? There's definitely a lot of things that you can change with the prompt to try to make it match exactly the products that you're selling. Fortunately, it only works with, you know, t-shirts, hoodies, that sweatshirts, those types of designs. And this should help you get started with UGC on your website. You could technically also use some of this on your ads and everything like that. And also, just a last disclaimer here, with ImageFX, it looks like you can use those images. It's a free tool and you can use those images and download them and use them for your personal use and commercial use, but don't quote us on that. Definitely look it up for yourself a little bit further in order to ensure that it's good to use these images. But again, you can't beat this. This is pretty much free. Obviously, you have to pay for Photoshop or have the latest version. Not even the latest, maybe a little bit of the latest, because we use some tools in there with the generative AI where you need, you know, some of these things. But at the end of the day, you can very easily, with 3 tools total, create some really good UGC for your clothing brand. Now, if this got you interested in using AI for your brand, then you definitely need to check out this video here where we go over some of the top AI apps for your Shopify store.